Hey everyone, it's Wilson from Growth OK. Wanted to make a quick video on an email teardown from a cold email that a friend sent me, and I thought it was pretty unique. So I wanted to kind of share this code email with you guys, break it down, show you what they did wrong and how we can fix it. So the email goes like this. Hi Jessica, how are you? My name is Chad and I'm reaching out to you on behalf of my company App Data Big because I want to help you reach your new heights in 2017. I saw you went to OSU. That's awesome. I'm writing to you today because I work for App Data Big, the premier cloud-based web server. Our service will save you both time as well as money. We work with similar companies to yours like Datafresh and Bynum. Here's an example of a case study with another similar company. Would you be interested in having a meeting? Thanks, Chad. What's wrong with this email? This is just not a good email. From the outside, this code email might seem very good because Chad tried to personalize it, tried to pitch the company, and had a call to action. At least he had the basic right. But this is just not good enough, and this is a way to get straight to the archive folder of the inbox. So let's start off with what's wrong with this. First of all, you never want to ask how the prospect is doing in the introduction paragraph. In the introduction paragraph, especially with your first initial email, you're a stranger to them. They don't know you. You probably did your research on them, but they don't know you. They just received the email, so they're reading it. So that's just like starting off with saying greetings, hope all is well with company. It doesn't really do anything. It's kind of waste of space, and the less text you have in your cold email, especially the initial one, the better. So don't start off with how you're doing, especially with strangers. His product description is kind of taking the wrong approach. He kind of repeated himself twice. So if you read it right here, he says, I'm reaching out to you on behalf of my company, App Data Big. So I think that part is already pretty much pointless. He could have just moved that down to the pitch line. I'm writing to you today because I work for App Data Big. So he repeated himself. He could have just taken that out, put something personalized that he discovered about Jessica, and put that line just down there. Just leave it out. So his product description is definitely taking the wrong approach. He should diagnose the problem first and then try to offer a solution by saying something like, hey, are you experiencing problems with X, X, and X? His pitch is just way too feature focused. He's just trying to explain what his company can do, but not really showing Jessica the value that she can gain from using the product or the service. I like how he shares similar companies that he worked with, but at the same time, it's not really saying anything. That's just like saying I'm emailing someone and saying, "Hey, we work with Cisco, Google, Microsoft, Uber, Lyft. Here's a case study of how we did it." But does those companies relate to the prospect that you're cold emailing? What type of results did those companies get? How did it improve the ROI? How did it help make their life easier? Make sure you add that when you're writing your code email, if you're going to write it in the format by showing them an example. Now, you don't have to always show them an example in the code emails, but if you do take that approach, make sure you add those stuff. And lastly, he goes, would you be interested in having a meeting? That's such a vague kind of call to action. If you really want to gauge somebody's interest, you might be, would you be interested in learning more? Would you be interested in giving us a try? Having a meeting is like, first of all, I don't even know what you're doing. I know you're from part of this company and you work with these companies. Now, what's the meeting about? Right? Or maybe if you are requesting a meeting, try to ask, try to let them know what is going to be in the meeting, where we can, something like where we can explore more about how we could help, and I can show you more case studies on how they achieve the higher ROI from using App Data Big. Always try to sell benefits and not get to haves. So let's talk about how to fix this email. This is a better one. Hi, Jessica. Your LinkedIn profile shows that you went to OSU, Ohio. I was born and raised in Ohio, so I've been a Buckeyes fan for as long as I can remember. That game against Clemson was tough, but we'll be back and better than ever next year. The reason for my email is that I work for the premier cloud-based web server, App Data Big. Our team saves you hours of work time through intuitive, fast reporting, gives you a peace of mind with industry-defining data security. We've already helped engineers like yourself at Data Fresh and find them. Here's a great case study we made with the companies that detail how we saved them 3 hours of legwork per day on average. Jessica, is this relevant to you? Looking forward to hearing from you. Cheers, chat. This is so much better. So much better. I mean, even for the average person that's just reading this or watching this, you can tell this is so much better. First of all, the first paragraph always need a solid mention. You always want a really good mention, and this is why data is so important in cold emailing nowadays. It's getting harder and harder. Back then, you can send one like the one above and probably still get responses. Now you need to be more account-based and you have to do your research. So checking out the LinkedIn, knowing that they went to OSU, as well as letting them know that, hey, I grew up there too. You can relate to the problem. That's like a friendly handshake if you're meeting somebody in person. Great introduction, great way to start off a conversation. Second paragraph, introduce your company, what you can offer, and what they can gain out of it. So you will be able to give them a peace of mind with industry defining data security. That makes them feel safe, right? This is a solution that they can consider. Now, you don't want to give them too much detail because that will push your email to be too long, and at the same time, you want them to come back to you with questions so you can move the deal forward. And the third paragraph, we already help engineers like yourself. Boom, relating to them, knowing that she's an engineer at these companies. Now we know that, hey, engineers at DataFresh and Finum use this product. And here's a great case study we made on how we saved them 3 hours of legwork per day on average. So that's showing them results. Saving 3 hours of time? Hell yes. I would be more than interested in talking as well. Lastly, call to action, much more straightforward. Jessica, is this relevant to you? Mentioning the prospect's name in the call to action is also another great trick to increase response rates. Looking forward to hearing from you. Cheers, Chad. I don't think that last part was necessary, the looking forward to hearing from you, but you can always put it. Remember, the less test, the better. So that was my quick breakdown for today. I'll be doing more of these videos in the future, so make sure you subscribe. And if you're looking for qualified and targeted sales leads, check out growth4k.com.